questions, where do you go for answers? What are the typical sources you use? Well, that probably depends on the types of questions you're asking, right? Like if you just want basic information, general facts, you could go to the library. You could even crack open an encyclopedia if you're old. Or if you're like me, you could just jump online, go to Google, type in what you want to know, and the answers are immediately delivered to you. But sometimes we have questions that are a little more personal, and we wonder things like, what should I get my sister for Christmas this year? What movie should I see this weekend? And usually in those instances, we just ask people around us. We ask our family. We ask our friends. And when we have questions like that, our family and friends are a good source. But sometimes our questions are even more personal. And we wonder things like, what's really going to make me happy? Should I eat this last slice of pizza? And when we wonder things like that, usually we just ask ourselves. We say, do I want this last piece of pizza? Yes. And we eat it. And usually when we ask questions about ourselves, we are a pretty good source. But there's a problem with our typical sources. And that problem arises when we start asking the big questions. Questions about the big stuff. Because big questions about life and death and God go beyond our typical sources. Those questions are completely outside our typical sources. Because when I ask myself and my friends and a million weirdos on the internet, the answers I get are answers from mankind. But questions like, is there meaning to life? What happens when you die? Is there a God? I mean, these are issues, that's information that mankind doesn't have access to. And so if we want to answer these questions, we need a source that comes from outside mankind. We literally need an outside source. What we need is a source that comes from God. Now, maybe you're thinking, Joel, dude, I don't even know if there is a God. That's all right. But you'd have to agree with me that if there is a God, he would have answers to the big stuff. And he would be able to communicate those answers to us. And so the question is there anything in the world that claims to be an outside source, that claims to have come from God? And actually there's a lot. Like every major world religion has a book that they say is sacred. I mean, Islam has the Quran, Hinduism has the Vedas, Christianity has the Bible, there's the Book of Mormon, there's a million people out there that claim to have heard from God. And so which, if any of these claims, could really be an outside source that really came from God? Well, I would say that as you look at all the sources out there, there's a lot of interesting stuff, but there really is one that rises to the top. There's one that sets itself apart from all the other potential sources, and that is the Bible. Now, I'm guessing you're not at all surprised by my conclusion, because you know that I'm a Christian. But seriously, the Bible, I would say, proves to be a legitimate possibility as an outside source when compared to all the other potential sources. And that's for three reasons. The Bible is credible, the Bible is incredible, and the Bible is truly impactful. So, number one, the Bible's credible. I mean, the amount of ancient manuscript evidence that supports the reliability of this book is truly amazing. More so than any other ancient text, religious or not, this book has evidence supporting it. Not only manuscript evidence, but this book has archaeological evidence that supports it. Even today, they are consistently finding archaeological evidence that supports the historical claims of the Bible. I mean, the Bible truly is a credible source. But more than that, the Bible is really incredible, meaning this book appears to be miraculous. It does things that natural sources just can't do. And by that I mean this book predicts the future consistently and accurately. I mean, you can find places in the Bible where literally thousands of years ago the Bible predicted events to occur that then did occur hundreds of years later. I mean, predicting the future is incredible. And number 3, the Bible is really impactful, especially when compared to all the other books out there. I mean, no other book has been as widely read, as widely memorized, as widely talked about, as widely written about. I mean, there's been all sorts of organizations, schools, and hospitals, and even countries founded on the principles of the Bible. No other book has had the type of impact the Bible has had. And so even if you're not a Christian, even if you're not even sure if there's a God, if you want answers to the big stuff, I'm saying we need an outside source, and our best shot at that is the Bible. No other book is as credible, incredible, or impactful. And so if we want to look for answers, we should start by looking in the Bible. And so that's exactly what we're going to do for the rest of the book, for the rest of the videos. We're going to try to find answers to the big questions using the Bible, and we're going to start with lie number 3.